Have you ever noticed how the mind starts racing the moment you wake up, pulling you in every direction before you've even taken your first breath of the day? The alarm goes off. You hit snooze, just a few more minutes, and suddenly, half an hour slips away. Your eyes still heavy, you reach for your phone and begin scrolling. News, notifications, social media, endless distractions. Then it hits you. You're late. You rush out of bed, already exhausted before the day has begun. Your thoughts are scattered, your focus fragmented. You're moving, but not present. Alive, but not awake. This is the suffering that arises when we live without mindfulness, a foundational teaching in Buddhism. Mindfulness isn't about controlling every thought or becoming emotionless. It's about being fully aware, moment to moment, without getting swept away by habit or craving. The Buddha taught that the mind, left untrained, is like a wild monkey, jumping from one branch to another, never still. But through right effort and consistent practice, we can begin to calm the inner storm. Each morning offers a chance to return to yourself, to awaken not just from sleep, but from unconscious living. When you start your day with mindfulness, grounded in awareness and presence, you shift the entire course of your day. You may become more productive, yes, but more importantly, you reconnect with peace, clarity, and compassion, qualities that already exist within you. In today's video, we'll explore 11 powerful Buddhist lessons to help you train your mind each morning. These teachings are practical, deeply transformative, and rooted in ancient wisdom. With each one, you'll learn how to cultivate inner stillness, overcome mental clutter, and begin your day with the kind of calm that ripples through your entire life. Lesson 1. Begin in stillness. The morning is not just the start of a new day. It is a sacred doorway between the quiet of night and the noise of the world. It's the moment when the mind is most tender, open, and unguarded. Just after waking, the line between consciousness and subconsciousness is still soft, and thoughts begin to rise like ripples on a quiet lake. Without awareness, we're pulled into these ripples, and before we know it, we're caught in the currents of craving, distraction, and worry. That's why stillness matters so deeply in Buddhist practice. Spending just 3 to 5 minutes in silent awareness each morning, without a phone, without conversation, without movement, is one of the most powerful acts of self-care. Simply sitting, simply breathing, simply being. This is not doing nothing. This is returning to your true home. In Buddhism, this quiet presence is called sati, mindfulness. It reconnects you to the present moment and shifts your body and mind out of restlessness and into peace. Modern science now echoes what monks have long known. This simple act calms the nervous system, lowers cortisol, slows the breath, and sets a foundation of balance for the day ahead. There's a story from the Zen tradition about a master who would sit in silence every morning, not to escape the world, but to greet it fully. When asked what he was doing during those long, silent sits, he replied, "I am listening for the sound of my own mind becoming still." Adam, a startup CEO, unknowingly follows this same path. Before diving into the flood of emails and meetings, he sits quietly in the corner of his room, closes his eyes, and takes 3 deep breaths. No app, no mantra, no labels, just breath and presence. He calls it his moment of arrival, a reminder, I am here. This moment is enough. I do not need to chase anything right now. Since creating this habit, Adam no longer reacts to challenges with panic or impulse. He responds with clarity and calm. This is the fruit of awareness, not control, but equanimity, upekkha. The ability to meet each moment with stillness rather than struggle. The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." This is not poetry, it is a practical instruction. In a world full of noise, chaos, and demands, you don't need to find peace somewhere out there. It's already within you, quiet, still, waiting to be remembered. So begin each day not with haste, but with presence. Not with reaction, but with intention. This small pause is the foundation for a day lived in harmony, with yourself, with others, and with the truth of life itself. Lesson 2. Set a daily intention of the mind. Each morning, the world may look the same, but you are gifted something precious, a new chance to walk the path of awareness. In Buddhism, we are reminded that while external conditions are beyond our control, the one thing that always remains within us is our ability to choose how we relate to each moment. This is why setting a mental intention each day is so powerful. It's not about changing the world, it's about changing how you show up in it. Ask yourself gently, what quality of mind do I wish to cultivate today? In Buddhist practice, this is part of right effort, one of the steps on the Eightfold Path. It means consciously nurturing wholesome states of mind while abandoning the unwholesome. It's about watering the seeds of qualities like compassion, karuna, patience, khanti, truthfulness, saka, or loving kindness, metta. Just choose one quality, but live it deeply. Say today you choose patience. Now every irritation becomes your temple. The red light, the long queue, the person who talks too loudly, all are teachers offering you a chance to watch your reactions. When tension arises, you take a slow, mindful breath. You smile inwardly and say, this is my practice today. This isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about mindful observation, sati, learning to witness without being carried away. You become a gentle guardian of your own mind, choosing response over reaction. The Buddha taught, whatever one frequently thinks and ponders upon, that will become the inclination of the mind. If you focus your mind on anger, impatience, or envy, that's what grows. But if you water the seed of patience or compassion, even in small ways, it begins to bloom. This daily intention is your anchor. Without it, the day often becomes scattered. You drift from one impulse to another, carried by external noise. But with a clear intention, your actions have purpose. You are no longer reacting blindly. You are walking with mindfulness, moment by moment. This practice brings simplicity to your day. You don't need to accomplish everything. Just one thing, nurture the quality you've chosen, and then, at night, reflect. Did I remember? Where did I struggle? Where did I shine? This reflection itself is part of the inner cultivation. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha reminds us, by oneself is evil done, by oneself is one defiled, by oneself is evil left undone, by oneself is one purified. Purity and impurity depend on oneself. No one can purify another. So every day is a chance to purify the mind, not through dramatic actions, but through gentle, consistent practice. Choose your quality, cultivate it, reflect in the evening. This is how transformation begins, not with struggle, but with steady, mindful intention. And now, prepare for the next lesson, a shift in perception that will help you see obstacles not as problems, but as profound gateways to inner freedom. Lesson 3. Prepare the mind for impermanence. Picture this. It's the morning of an important day. You sit with your tea, perhaps feeling a little tension. Your mind begins to wander. What if the meeting goes badly? What if I forget something? What if someone misunderstands me? These thoughts might seem anxious, but when approached wisely, they can become tools for peace. In Buddhism, we are taught to reflect deeply on anicca, the truth of impermanence, and dukkha, the inescapable presence of difficulty in life. Things change, challenges arise. That's not negative, it's real. And a mind trained in this understanding doesn't fear chaos, it moves with it. This practice is similar in spirit to the Stoic idea of premeditatio malorum, but in the Buddhist path, we approach it through right view and mindful awareness of causes and conditions. Each morning, take a few moments before the noise of the world begins. Sit quietly and ask, what difficulties may come today? You might face unexpected delays, hurtful words, disappointment, fatigue. Rather than deny or avoid them, you gently welcome them in your mind, not to suffer twice, but to prepare with compassion and clarity. You are not imagining disaster, you are simply accepting reality. Life unfolds in ways we cannot control, but we can control our response. This is mental cultivation. You are teaching your heart to remain open, even when things go wrong. You are softening your resistance to discomfort and planting seeds of inner resilience. The Buddha once said, "Develop a mind that is like the earth. Whether pleasant or unpleasant things fall upon it, the earth remains steady and undisturbed." Athletes rehearse tough situations before the game. Similarly, we train the mind before life tests us, not to fix everything, but to meet it with presence. And when you prepare your mind in this way, it becomes easier to respond with skill. If you anticipate tension at work, you might breathe more deeply before entering a meeting. If you know someone might trigger anger, you carry extra mindfulness to guard your speech. You're not avoiding life, you're walking into it with wisdom. This daily reflection is not about fear, it's about trust. Trusting that no matter what today brings, joy or hardship, you have the tools to meet it with calm and care. Try this for the next 7 mornings. Sit for just 3 minutes. Reflect gently on what may arise. Let go of control and instead, prepare your heart. Because a calm mind is not built in perfect conditions. It is built by embracing imperfection with awareness. And with this quiet preparation, you begin to walk through life with less resistance, more compassion, and a mind that remains steady no matter the storm. Lesson 4. Let go of what you can't control. Embrace what you can. Each morning, as the world slowly wakes up, so does the mind. And with that awakening comes a choice. Will I spend today clinging to what I cannot change? Or will I gently guide my energy toward what I can truly influence? In the Buddha's teachings, the path to freedom begins with clear seeing, recognizing the difference between what arises from our own actions and what simply unfolds through causes and conditions beyond our grasp. We suffer not because life is difficult, but because we resist what we cannot control. It is said in the Dhammapada, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think, we become. This is the heart of right effort, to focus your energy where it bears fruit, rather than where it only multiplies frustration. Let's say you're preparing for an important presentation. You can choose your words, rehearse with care, arrive early, and carry yourself with kindness. These are actions that arise from your own intention, your karma. But how others receive you, whether they smile or frown, praise or critique, that is outside your circle of power. These outcomes are shaped by countless unseen conditions, like the weather, their mood, or what they ate for breakfast. To grasp at these things is to suffer unnecessarily. And yet, this is what most minds do every morning. Tighten around expectations, worry about impressions, and push against uncertainty. It's like trying to hold the wind. But the wise practitioner does something different. Each day, they begin by asking, what can I meet today with mindfulness? What can I release into the flow of life with peace? In doing so, you protect your inner balance. You stop scattering your attention across the world and begin to dwell in the present moment, like a tree rooted firmly in the ground. This doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means acting with wisdom, doing your part fully, then releasing the rest with equanimity. The Buddha taught that clinging leads to suffering, not just to pleasure, but also to certainty, control, and reputation. When we loosen our grip, we rediscover a quiet strength. We stop being thrown off course by every gust of wind. Here's a small practice. Each morning, write down 3 things you can guide with awareness. Perhaps your tone of voice, your attention during a task, your response to irritation. Then write down 3 things you'll let go of. Perhaps the weather, others' judgments, or the outcome of a plan. This isn't just mindfulness, it's freedom in action. Because the more we live in harmony with what is, the less we suffer from what is not. Let go. Breathe. Act with care. Then release. This is how a peaceful day begins. Not from controlling the world, but from understanding your part in it. Lesson number 5. Begin now. The path starts where you stand. There's a quiet illusion many of us carry in the modern world. We believe we must feel right before we can do right. We wait for the perfect mindset, for clarity to strike, for our emotions to align. We postpone action until we feel inspired or comfortable. But the Dharma teaches a different truth, that liberation begins in this very moment, not in some ideal future. The Buddha never said to wait until your heart is light or your mind is calm. He said to practice anyway. Right effort, one of the steps of the Noble Eightfold Path, calls us to cultivate wholesome actions regardless of how the winds of emotion may blow. This isn't about denying feelings. It's about not becoming enslaved by them. The wise do not wait to feel ready. They step mindfully forward, knowing that intention and action shape the path far more than fleeting moods. As the Buddha once told his disciples, with sustained effort, you become free. The first movement out of stagnation need not be grand or profound. It can be as simple as rising with the sun, washing your face, sitting quietly, or reading a single verse of the Dhammapada. That small act is the turning of the wheel, a silent but powerful rebellion against delay and doubt. You do not need perfect silence or sacred incense to begin. You do not need the ideal meditation cushion or a polished routine. All you need is the willingness to start now. This is mindfulness in action, to be fully present, even in your first sleepy step of the day. The Buddha taught that mental discipline arises not from control, but from awareness repeated moment by moment. When you act with intention each morning, your body remembers, your mind remembers. This rhythm becomes a refuge, a place where right action becomes second nature. And over time, the question of when to begin fades. The practice becomes a part of you. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha says, "Arise, sit up, train yourself for wisdom. Do not let the moment pass." He was not speaking to monks alone. He was speaking to anyone who has ever hesitated, anyone caught in the net of not yet. So if you truly wish to walk the middle way and free your mind from the chains of craving and doubt, here is the step you must not postpone. Begin now. Don't wait for the mind to be silent. Don't wait for everything to feel aligned. Just begin. Because while you cannot command your emotions at will, you can direct your attention, your breath, your feet. And from that single mindful step, an entire day, an entire life can transform. Lesson 6. Remember impermanence. Live fully now. Few things awaken the heart more than realizing this simple truth. One day, we will not awaken at all. No more morning light warming your face. No more birdsong through the window. No more maybe tomorrow. In Buddhist teachings, this realization is not meant to frighten. It is meant to awaken. It is the contemplation of anicca, impermanence, the truth that everything we love, everything we experience, is fleeting. The Buddha taught that all conditioned things arise and pass away. To reflect on this is not morbid, it is profoundly human. In fact, it is one of the 4 reminders used in traditional Buddhist practice to stir the heart toward clarity and presence. When we truly see that life is uncertain, we stop sleepwalking through it. We stop postponing what really matters. We return to now. Each breath is a gift. Each morning you rise is a rare opportunity. When you understand this, not in your head, but in your bones, you begin to act differently. You don't delay that call to someone you love. You don't wait until next week to write, to stretch, to pause, to simply sit in silence and meet yourself. You do it now, not out of fear, but out of reverence. A Zen saying puts it beautifully. The most important time is now. The most important person is the one you're with. The most important action is love. That's the heart of this practice, to bring full attention to this moment, because it will never come again. Imagine, just for a moment, this morning being your last, how would you treat the first hour of your day? Would you scroll mindlessly? Or would you offer it to presence, to purpose, to peace? Would you whisper to yourself, not in sadness, but in truth, this moment will not return? And in that awareness, would you act, not out of pressure, but out of profound gratitude? This is how we train the mind to awaken from numbness, not with harsh discipline, but with gentle clarity. The practice of remembering death, sati, has been taught by the Buddha for thousands of years, not to fill us with dread, but to free us from illusion. Death is certain. The time of death is uncertain. So live now, fully, with an open heart. If you've stayed with this journey so far, I want to pause and express deep gratitude. The fact that you're here means you are choosing to wake up, not just in the morning, but in your life. You are training the mind to see clearly, to live with intention, to cherish the ordinary moments that pass so quickly. And now, we continue to lesson number 7. If remembering impermanence helps us wake up to life's fragility, then our next lesson will guide us to meet all of life, joy or struggle, with peaceful acceptance and compassion. You won't want to miss it. Dharma. Lesson 7. Embrace what is. The power of equanimity. Have you ever noticed how life seems to challenge you just when you're trying to hold things together? You rise with good intentions, a clear mind, and then something small but frustrating happens. The power flickers. The car won't start. The morning goes sideways and irritation creeps in. In moments like these, the untrained mind asks, "Why is this happening to me?" But the path of mindfulness teaches something far more liberating. This too is part of the path. In Buddhism, we don't resist the reality of the moment. We learn to meet it with presence and peace. This is upekkha, equanimity, a calm and balanced mind that doesn't cling to pleasure or resist discomfort, but accepts each moment as it is, with wisdom. Equanimity isn't cold or passive. It's a deep strength, cultivated by the one who understands the nature of impermanence. Everything changes, and when we try to force the world to match our preferences, we suffer. But when we release our grasp and respond instead of react, we gain inner freedom. The Buddha said, "Just as a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, so the wise are not moved by praise or blame." So when the air conditioner breaks, or the rain pours on your plans, you can either fight the moment or flow with it. Step outside, feel the warmth, let your feet touch the ground. That discomfort you wanted to escape, it just gave you a chance to come back to your body, your breath, the sacred ordinariness of the morning. You cannot control the world, but you can bring mindfulness to how you move through it. And every small challenge is a gentle invitation to return to your practice. When your tea spills, when a meeting is cancelled, when the bus runs late, these are not intrusions, they're training grounds. Each one is a lesson in letting go. This is how we shape our inner world, not by avoiding stress or sadness, but by embracing them with awareness. By recognizing, this is discomfort. Let me meet it with patience. That's the moment the mind grows stronger. And if you fall short today, if you snap, complain, or resist, that's okay too, because tomorrow offers a fresh moment to begin again. As long as you keep returning to the present, you are walking the path. So each morning, remind yourself not to chase only what feels pleasant, but to receive whatever comes with open hands. Not with forced joy, but with gentle understanding. Because the awakened heart doesn't say, "Why me?" It says, "Yes, this too. Let me meet it with peace." And in that, even the unwelcome becomes a doorway to awakening. Lesson 8. Care for the body, calm the mind. A still mind finds its roots in a balanced body. In Buddhism, the body is not something to dominate or ignore. It's a sacred vessel, a mirror of the mind. The Buddha often taught that the path to liberation begins with mindfulness of the body. When we care for our physical form with awareness, we are also training the mind to be steady, kind, and strong. Think of your morning as a quiet ritual, rising with intention, stretching with gratitude, taking a few deep breaths before the noise of the world begins. These simple acts are not small. They are powerful steps on the path of right effort, the ongoing discipline to cultivate what is wholesome and let go of what is not. When you move your body, even gently, something shifts. Your breath deepens, the chatter in your mind softens, and your presence returns. Just a few minutes of mindful walking, a short stretch, or a calm morning routine can dissolve the fog of lethargy and bring you back to life. These are not mere exercises, they are acts of care, offerings to yourself. The Buddha once said, "To keep the body in good health is a duty, otherwise we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear." When you treat your body with awareness, not vanity, but respect, you are honoring this precious life. And here's the deeper truth. When you rise early and move with purpose, even when you don't feel like it, you are practicing discipline, not as force, but as devotion. You are saying to yourself, "I am awake. I am present. I choose the path of clarity." You don't need to be an athlete. You don't need a perfect routine. You just need to begin with sincerity. Each drop of sweat, each breath held in stillness is proof. You are capable of effort guided by wisdom. This is the heart of Buddhist practice, transforming daily actions into steps toward awakening. So as the sun rises tomorrow, ask yourself gently, not with judgment, but curiosity. How am I honoring my body today? Am I moving with awareness? You never know. The way you greet your morning may just inspire someone else to rise with peace. Lesson 9. Begin each morning with Dharma reflection. Before the world pulls you into its rhythm, take just a few minutes to nourish your inner world. In Buddhism, the morning mind is soft, like freshly fallen snow. It's a sacred window for reflection, awareness, and clarity. That's why the most peaceful way to begin the day is by reading and reflecting on a few lines of Dharma, a verse from the Buddha's teachings, a Zen koan, or a simple parable that carries deep truth. It doesn't have to be long, just one passage, a short teaching on impermanence, compassion, or mindfulness. Then pause, sit with it, let the words settle into your breath, and if you have a journal nearby, write, not for perfection, just for presence. What does this teaching awaken in you today? One morning it might remind you of the preciousness of time. Another, it may offer insight into anger, craving, or patience. These are not abstract ideas. In Buddhism, they are tools for liberation. Dharma is not meant to be stored in books. It is to be lived, tasted, and practiced moment by moment. If the mind is not guided at sunrise, it often drifts. And when the first thing we feed it is noise, endless scrolling, headlines, and comparison, we scatter our attention before we've even had a chance to arrive in our own life. But if you begin with the Dharma, you begin with truth. A verse like, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think, we become." This simple line becomes an anchor for the day. When you connect it to your life, maybe noting, "Today, I will be mindful of how I speak when I feel rushed." You're not just reading, you're practicing. You're planting seeds in the soil of your consciousness. Over time, those seeds grow into qualities like patience, compassion, and stillness. Modern science now echoes what monks have known for centuries. Regular reflection combined with intentional writing can ease anxiety, sharpen focus, and bring emotional balance. In Buddhism, this is known as mental cultivation, bhavana, the intentional shaping of the mind through awareness and wisdom. So tomorrow morning, before the world asks anything of you, offer yourself a moment of silence. Read a verse of wisdom, reflect, and write, not to impress anyone, but to stay awake to your own unfolding path. Because each morning, the question is not what the world will bring, but how you will meet it. Lesson 10. Mindful journaling, a mirror for the heart. Before stepping into the next moment of your day, pause, just long enough to gently revisit the one that came before. In Buddhist practice, we don't dwell in the past, but we do reflect upon it with mindfulness. Because to truly awaken, we must learn from where we've been. Journaling, in this light, is not just writing, it's a form of meditation. It's a cleansing of the mental clutter, a quiet space to meet yourself with awareness and compassion. It's a daily ritual of sati, mindfulness, and a deepening of vipassana, insight. Instead of stoic questions, consider these reflections inspired by the Dharma. Was I mindful today, or was I lost in craving or aversion? Did I act with compassion, or react from ego? What can I let go of, and what should I cultivate? This isn't about judgment. There is no punishment, no reward, only understanding. This is your moment to sit with your inner self, not to criticize, but to gently observe. Think of it as lighting a small lamp in the cave of your heart. You need no audience, no approval, just your breath, your awareness, and a pen. Even 5 minutes can be a sacred offering. Choose a moment that suits your rhythm, perhaps the quiet of dawn to set intention, or the stillness of dusk to reflect. And when you write, don't try to sound wise. Don't force positivity. Just be real. Write as if you're speaking to the Buddha within you, the awakened part of your mind that neither judges nor scolds, but patiently guides with gentle wisdom. At first, it may feel unfamiliar. Why am I writing this? Is this helping? But over time, something subtle shifts. You begin to see yourself, not through the lens of blame or pride, but with clarity. Journaling becomes a practice of right mindfulness, helping you slow down the river of thought and step out of the cycle of reactivity. A lay practitioner once shared, "Writing in silence each night doesn't erase my struggles, but it reveals them. It helps me sleep, not because my problems are solved, but because I've stopped resisting them. Journaling shows me what is clinging and what I can release." So if you haven't begun, start today. A notebook, a pen, and 5 minutes of silence. That's all it takes. No rules, no perfect sentences, just honesty. And if journaling is already part of your path, stay with it. Because in the next teaching, we'll explore a practice that transforms routine into radiant energy, the practice of gratitude, and beyond. Lesson 11. Cultivating gratitude and forgiveness. In the journey of awakening the mind, there's a gentle yet transformative practice often overlooked: the twin disciplines of gratitude and forgiveness. These are not fleeting emotions, but deep contemplations rooted in the Buddhist path of liberation. Together, they cleanse the heart, quiet the restless mind, and guide us toward compassion and clarity. Gratitude, in Buddhist practice, is not about denying suffering. It's about recognizing the blessings that exist even amidst it. It shifts our awareness from craving, tanha, and dissatisfaction to mudita, the joy found in the present moment. You may not have everything you desire, but if you pause, you'll notice the warmth of a meal, the presence of loved ones, the breath flowing gently in your body. These are miracles often missed in the rush of life. The Buddha taught that the mind is shaped by what it frequently reflects upon. And when we reflect on what is good, however small, we cultivate a heart that is light, open, and resilient. Gratitude soothes the fire of restlessness and grounds us in the now. But perhaps even more powerful, though more difficult, is the practice of forgiveness. To forgive is not to forget, nor to excuse harmful actions. It is to free oneself from the chains of anger and bitterness. Buddhist teachings remind us that holding on to hatred is like drinking poison and expecting the other to suffer. Forgiveness is an act of metta, loving kindness, not for the one who hurt you, but for yourself. The Buddha said, "Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal law." To forgive is to stop clinging to the story of our wounds, not because they don't matter, but because peace matters more. So each morning, consider a small but profound ritual. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. And then, if you feel a heaviness in your heart, offer forgiveness, perhaps silently, to someone you're still holding in resentment. You don't need to call, text, or confront. Even writing what you would say and letting it go within is enough. It's like removing a hidden stone from your shoe. You may not have noticed it every step, but you'll surely feel its absence. Gratitude and forgiveness require no money, no grand effort, just presence, humility, and intention. But the return is immense: a lighter mind, a peaceful heart, and a clearer view of life. This completes the 11 steps in cultivating a mindful morning, from embracing silence, setting intentions, and journaling, to now, these deeper practices of release and joy. Though rooted in Buddhist insight, these teachings are universal. They remind us that the mind can be trained and the heart can be healed. Now, it's your turn to walk the path. Try a 7-day mindfulness challenge. Each morning, return to these 11 steps. Witness how your awareness shifts, how your reactions soften, how your sense of purpose begins to bloom. And when you do, share your reflections in the comments. Which lesson touched your heart the most? Which practice brought the greatest shift? If this video brought clarity or calm into your day, feel free to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the teachings yet to come. And before you go, your next video is waiting, just in the corner. See you there, fellow traveler.